D. So the two mums and the two young bulls. So the bulls are about 5 and 6, Paddyhan's 5 and Lookchai 6. They're at that really fun age where you might see, I think it was Lookchai in the mud wallows. So I don't think they've got any mud wallows at Taronga, so it's been a massive difference to come out here and to get to roll around in the mud and have a lot of fun. So it'll be a good opportunity to see those guys after my talk. I will be feeding them after my talk, so you'll be able to get to see them nice and close. And the way to get to those guys is just following this path down there, and there's a viewing platform just out the back there. So having the Asian and the African elephant, it's a good chance for me to talk about some of the differences between the two, and there are a lot. Cuddles isn't really showing herself too much, but I'll start with the biggest difference. Can anyone tell me what the biggest difference is? The ears. Excellent. So as you can see, she's doing a little bit of a side profile there, and her ears are 3 times bigger than the Asian elephant, and that's basically because Cuddles there comes from a much hotter environment, and they actually use those ears to help them cool themselves down. So in the back of those ears, they've got massive veins as big as my thumb, and what they'll do is they'll flap their ears back and forth. Obviously they won't be doing it today because it's a little bit cooler today, but they will flap their ears back and forth and get that blood pumping from their ears circulating throughout the body, and that's basically how they cool themselves down. So in Dubbo it can get quite hot. It usually gets in the 40s, and when that's happening you'll see their ears going back and forth constantly. So probably the second biggest difference between the two is the size. African elephants are a lot bigger than Asian elephants. You can't see Cuddles all the way back there, but she's actually quite a small African elephant. They can get a lot bigger. We had an African bull here many years ago that was, I think it was 3 meters high. His back was 3 meters high, so that's a massive bull elephant there. So Cuddles weighs about 4 tonne, which is still quite a lot. But the Asian elephants here, Burma and Gigi, they weigh 3.8 tonne. So there's not a massive difference in size. So that's probably the second biggest difference. And just why Cuddles is doing a lovely side profile there. As you can see there, she's got a concave back, and the Asian elephants have a convex back. And also they've got 2 domes on the top of their head, where African elephants only have 1. So there are a lot of differences between the two, right down to different numbers of ribs, different numbers of toenails. Their trunk is actually quite different. Cuddles' trunk is a lot more flexible, and she's got 2 fingers on the end of that trunk, where the Asian elephants only have 1. But in saying that, they can still use their trunk just as well as Cuddles can. Gigi here, I was telling a few people before that Gigi is our cheekiest elephant. And she can quite easily undo any D-shackle or any type of screws or anything like that. So when we do put up hay nets or any type of enrichment, we do have to make sure that it's extra tight, because we have come in a few times and a few things have been undone. And she also, just while I'm talking about how cheeky she is, she'll also get a stick of browse. She did this to me at the talk the other day, so I gave him some browse. And when she was finished eating as much as she wanted to, she got the stick and she put it on the electric fence, and she was trying to break the electric fence. And she's done that many times before, where she's broken it and then she'll come in and eat all this lovely green grass. So she is definitely our most cheekiest elephant. So we do have to be very careful what we do leave laying around, just in case she gets a big stick, and she'll put it on and trip the electric fence out, and then she'll just climb over and help herself to some grass. You'll see her usually grabbing as much as she possibly can before she gets caught, and then she'll feel very sorry for herself because she'll have a bit of a bellyache. So that's Gigi, our cheeky elephant. So back to the differences, or back to the trunk. It is obviously their most unique feature, and they do use it for many different things. They use it to drink out of, they obviously use it to eat. You guys can see them eating their lucerne right now. They use it to push over objects, they use it to break fences. So they do use it for pretty much everything that they possibly can. And they do drink. It's not like a straw. So what they actually do is they can suck up about 7 to 8 litres of water in that trunk, and then they'll spray it into their mouths. The smarter elephants will suck up 7 to 8 litres and then wash it out next to them, so they get rid of all the mucus and all the not so nice stuff, and then they'll have another drink and it'll be a little bit nicer. So yeah, Gigi and Cuddles, Gigi and Granny here could easily move most of these logs around her, their exhibit, so they can use it for many different things. So the Asian elephants are suffering a little bit more in the wild. So there's only about 45,000 Asian elephants left. With the African elephants, there's about 400,000. They're still suffering, but the Asian elephants seem to be suffering just a little bit more. And there are a few reasons as to why that is. Some of the biggest issues is deforestation. So a lot of their natural habitat is getting cut down to... Don't even think about it. Their environment for timber purposes, and there's also a lot of human-elephant conflict going on. Basically over there, their whole, everything that they own is pretty much their whole livelihood. They grow crops and all that kind of stuff to feed themselves and to make things. And elephants obviously would see that as a food source. So they come over, they trample on all their crops, they eat as much as they possibly can, and then they'll move on to the next one. As you can imagine, farmers wouldn't particularly like that very much. So there has been a lot of conflict, so a lot of elephants have died because of that, and also a lot of humans. So they have come up with a few things to help fix that. One thing in particular, they use chili plants. So like I was saying with that trunk, which they, what is she too happy with? The carrots I gave her. Chili plants. So with that trunk, they've got a sense of smell 7 times greater than a dog. So you can imagine what a chili plant, sniffing a chili plant would feel like. I don't think we'd enjoy it very much. So it'd be very uncomfortable for the elephants as well. So what they've done is they've actually put up a whole, like a chili wall. So the elephants will come over, have a sniff and go, oh no, it's not really worth it, and move on to the next one. So that's worked quite well. Another thing that they have used is bees. So I don't know if you can all remember the first time you got stung by a bee.
Yes.
I certainly can, yes, it's not a lot of fun.
No.
So it's a bit of a myth that these guys remember everything. They do remember the significant events in their life, whether it is good or bad, and bees so happen to be a part of the bad thing to remember. So what they've done is they've set up beehives and put a little trip there. So the elephants will come over and they'll tread on it, and then there'll be this buzzing sound, and all of the adults, they'll hopefully recognise that buzzing sound as danger, and they'll decide to go elsewhere. But young calves or young children as well, they do like to have a bit of adventure and know exactly what's going on. So they'll hang about, get stung by a bee, and then they'll associate that sound with danger. The next time it happens, they'll be running off to mum very quickly and hopefully not getting stung by a bee again. So that has also worked really well. But if you guys do want to do anything for Asian elephants, we do have a breeding program here. You might see our new barn, so we've got the new barn set up there. We've got some new paddocks, we've got the 4 new strong elephants, so we're going to be helping out with the breeding program. Taronga has been very successful. They've had 3 calves in the last 6 years, so it's been very successful. And their gestation period is 2 years, so it is quite a long process as well. So if you guys do want to do anything, if you are travelling or you're buying any sort of furniture or anything like that, if you just want to check to see what it's made out of and make sure it's either Australian or sustainable, it's not anything from the environment, that would be awesome. And just with the African elephants, I'll just talk a little bit about why they're suffering a little bit. I'm sure you've all heard about the illegal ivory trade. Cuddles does have 1 bit of ivory. She did have 2, obviously, but she snapped one off many years ago, and unfortunately she did some damage and it won't grow back. You can still, when she opens her mouth in the morning, you can see a little bit of it, but she still uses the other tusk just as well. So basically they're suffering because of that, and it's worth a lot of money over there, and it shows how wealthy you are. So it'd be like us owning the latest, driving the latest car or owning the latest phones or something. So that bit of ivory shows how wealthy you are, and it is in a lot of ornaments. So basically what they